Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, that singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Hi, guys. Turn the microphone on. Hello. Hey, Nightshade. How's it going? Let's see here. So I hope y'all are having a great time. This is Paisley Wild, and we're adventuring out into the the spaces between my spaces. Yes. It's not your bad, Nightshade. I just managed to forget to turn on the microphone. Actually, I pushed the button to turn on Dawn's microphone, but Dawn's not sitting there, so oh well. He's busy, I think, or off doing something. Anyways, we're being broadcast live, of course, tonight on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And also in on YouTube World. Hi, YouTube. For those of you who are just joining, I hope y'all are having a good time. I know I have a lot of Portal peeps come over, and Deb Varner is currently still she's streaming on YouTube, so Deb's really freaking awesome, and so I understand that people are a little distracted listening to Deb because she's got good stuff. Goodness, sorry, it's a little chilly here. I forgot to turn on the space heater next to my feet, and it's a good thing I have fuzzy slippers. Oof. Let's see. No matter how you are listening to me, make sure you stop in and say hello, either in one of the chat rooms or send me an email at wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can do so by going to www.etsy.com/shop/Monarch Mountain Studio, MTN for Mountain. Or you can go to patreon.com/TheSpacesBetween. Or if you just want to, support my radio habit, which I appreciate, you can just send donations or contributions or whatever it is that you do to the hashtag $TheSpacesBetween. And the call line is open tonight for those of you who might want to call in. That number is 213-233-3998, or if you're across the pond in the UK, it's 44203-393-2871. And if you have a chance to check it out, go to ialife.com. iLife is the official sponsor for Truth Frequency Radio. iLife combines the good stuff from ayahuasca with the good stuff of the CBD without giving you any of the some of those side effects of, the visions and the trips, etc., and just kind of helps your immune system be happier and better, which we all need right now. We all do. As I see more and more stuff getting shut down, closed down, the headlines are negative. Just, deep cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Hug a tree, whatever it is you got to do to ground. Because, life, it is adventurous right now. And we are, holy cow, 13 days. 13 days? Yeah, 13 days left in this year. Isn't that wild? 2020 is almost over. Almost. Yes, Aussie, you are absolutely right. So, ayalife.com. That's A-Y... try that again. AYALIFE.com. But, it's just crazy year that we have had, without a doubt. I am really, 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 really looking forward to having it being, gone. Bye-bye. It can move on. Although I have bumped into a few people who are saying, well, it is just going to be like Groundhog Day, the movie with Bill Murray in it, where at midnight the whole day resets and he has to do Groundhog's Day over and over and over again. Yeah. No, we're not doing that. We're not repeating this year. No. A funny joke was 2021 means that this century is now 21 years old and is old enough to drink in the U.S. It just makes me giggle a wee bit. So, yeah. Just crazy world that we live in. We have been doing the an elements series. We talked about, we started out with earth, and then we did fire and air and water. Not necessarily in that order, but that's what we've been doing. And so we're now to the fifth and final element for the sake of the series, and that is the element of spirit, also known as Akasha or Aether. And so we're just going to talk about this particular element a wee bit, and then we'll see where the time leaves us, because I do have some other stuff we could talk about. My guest tomorrow night, Kathy, will be on, and she will be talking about the alignment of the planets that we're going to be experiencing next week for solstice, and what that might mean for us. Because, there's it's an adventurous place. Yeah. I think the energy that we've been building, I don't know if, how many of y'all have been feeling the energetic signatures changing or compressing or just transmuting or whatever you want to put it. Yeah, it's been noticeable. And so I think talking about that planetary alignment and how the energy might be fluctuating as we move into 2021, which is just our... Okay, so here's the thing about... This is one of the... I got two things. One, the first thing is today's calendar that we use is... just based on today's calendar. It's just our interpretation of time as of today. And if you were to go back, say, 4,000 years and something happened on this day 4,000 years ago, that doesn't mean it's going to be Friday, December 18. It could be, the way we count time or count months and days right now is totally dependent upon our system today. That fluctuates and changes periodically, and Yeah. So just when someone says, "Oh yeah, I was born on a Monday," 2 centuries ago.
But time's a constant.
Oh, Don's on now. Hey Don. Time is not a constant.
But time's a constant.
Time is not a constant.
We base everything on time.
No. No.
Yeah, we do. It's time to get up, time to go to bed. It's time. Time's constant.
It's a man-made construct.
It's still constant.
Are you sure?
I'm just arguing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're just arguing. It's so cold down here that my tea is cold already.
It's not that cold down here.
It's cold down here.
It's not that cold down here.
Yes, it is.
Anyhow.
Titan says hi.
Hi, Titan. Oh, there's everybody.
Yeah, everybody's. Well, they're slowly trickling over. Deb was over on Paranormal Portal and
that's right.
Is she? I think Brent had just a few hangers on.
Yeah.
So.
A little overtime.
Yep, a little overtime.
Anyhow.
Anyway, so yeah, Kathy will be the guest, and we will for tomorrow night, and yeah, talk about the changes in the energies in our world with the planetary alignments and the solstice. So yeah, I'm freezing.
When is that?
Tomorrow.
She's Skyping in?
I think, yeah, that's the plan.
Okay.
Unless she gets a wild hair, then she's going to come out here and invade our space.
She should probably just Skype in.
All right. So, Julia is on the air, and she had a...
Wow.
Hi. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Oh, my.
Which one is
I'm
this?
okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Hold
we hear
on.
you just fine. I'm not sure what...
Turn off my...
Am I too loud?
no, you're not. We are. I'm not sure what button I pushed.
Okay.
No, you're fine. Keep talking. So, you said you want Starbucks. Yeah. You know what?
Okay, so
There's something to be said about
you guys were talking.
coffee. Yes.
Sorry, the lag is weird. So, anyways, I'm gonna keep talking, and here we go. So you were talking about planetary alignments and weird stuff going on in the world, and I had something weird happen today also. So I had to go out into the world today. What madness that was. Because if I didn't do it today, it's not, I have to go back out tomorrow, and it sucks. And, you know, when you go to the store, you have a certain amount of anxiety. When you take a child with you, you don't necessarily want to go, but you understand that anxiety, and you're familiar with it.
Yes.
So today I went out to the store, and we went to the dollar store, and we went to Petco, and that was all fine. But then I got in the car, and I got super anxious. Like, it wasn't just the Christmas rush. It was, this is something else. And by the time I got home, I felt like I was having a damn heart attack. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a shower. I don't know what this is. I'm fine. I have nothing to stress out about. You know, I should be okay. And I got in the shower, and I realized that this isn't my stress. This is somebody else's stress. And I thought, okay, whose stress could it be? And I have my friend Bridget, she had some stuff going on in her world today that was super stressful. And then I found out another aunt of mine had something happen that was super stressful at about the same time. So it's weird being an empath, because you realize you have to take note and say, this isn't my stress. This is gross. Get it off of me. So I had to call both of them and yell at them and say, hey, chill out. You're going to kill me.
Right. You know, it's amazing how much of that, you know, I call it other people's baggage, but in reality it's other people's stress. And it's not ours to carry, but we do it all the time thinking that it is ours and it's normal for us to carry it. And then when we realize it's not really ours and we put it down, it's like, oh,
it's called empathy.
That's what that meant.
It's called empathy.
Yeah, empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I usually, like, sometimes I'm usually that way with Bridget, and it's a once in a while thing. Now, I'm not keen on her all the time. I don't know all the time, but there have been other times with both these women that I've called up and said, why are you crying? What's going on? You know, I can feel them. And it's just, I think it's funny that you mentioned that there is something going on. And I'm like, okay, that's right. There is something going on. Because, I mean, along with that, everything also is seeming to fall into place for fate to happen, at least in my world. So, do you guys ever feel that way? That fate is like you're falling into fate?
You mean like doomed? Because doomed and fate, they're kind of synonyms.
Well,
Are they?
well, not okay. So yes, technically they are. If someone is saying your doom is upon you, it just means your fate is upon you. People assume that it means, oh no, the scary bad things are going to happen. But sometimes it just means it's your fate, not necessarily your doom. It's all open to interpretation.
It's all about negative connotations.
The way that I know fate is to be is this is where you're supposed to be. It doesn't mean I'm going to die, Dawn. It means that
I
this
didn't
is where
say
I'm supposed to be in the world right now.
I did not say die. Most people feel that way. That's the same thing. It's just misunderstood words. Doom and fate are almost the exact same thing. One just has more of a negative connotation.
Yeah. So yeah, doom.
Doom and gloom. Doom and gloom.
It could just be fate and gloom. I mean, so no, it's there's just interesting energies out in the world today. I know it's been impacting my sleep. It's been impacting the sleep of those that I know and talk to on a regular basis, and it's just been very, very bizarre. So, yeah, the adventures, I think they are continuing. I don't think we're done with the odd energies yet, or the on things.
You know, and another thing to remember is that, you know, everybody's empathic. Everybody knows, unless you're like a complete sociopath. You know, everybody knows when people are in bad moods or they feel bad, or, you know, and some people can really tap into that and, you know, take on their baggage. And you have to remember that that's not yours. And that's exactly what, you know, that's what you're talking about. That's what Paisley's talking about. It's not yours. And you have to be able to recognize that, of course. And because a lot of this negative energy, a lot of this negative energy could possibly be because you're carrying around, your empathy is wide open and you're not guarding yourself. So there you go.
And put some tourmaline in your pocket there, kid.
Well, and these girls are not millions, thousands of miles away. I mean, one of them's in North Carolina and the other one's in Florida. And I was talking to somebody else on the phone about energy. And, I mean, I don't know. I could have been talking about my butt, whatever. But it's like, I think I heard it from you guys. I don't know. It's like a faucet where if you open yourself to I'm going to give you good energy, Dawn, then you have to remember to shut that faucet off. I don't know, you know, or if you receive it, you know, because if you don't shut yourself off or protect yourself, you're just going to leave that open.
That's right.
Like a dam, you know.
Well, it's when your cup's full.
And
your
I know
cup's
actually.
Full. And you don't actually.
Did I lose her?
Is she there?
Julia?
Oh,
there
I'm here. I don't know. That lag gets me every time. It's like a bad joke on myself.
So yeah, it's like you open the tap and you forget, you know, you got to turn it off when the cup's full. That's all there is to it. And you know, sometimes you got to cut it off before the cup's full. And that's when we start to learn about ourselves and how to properly take care of ourselves.
Self-care. Yeah. So yeah, keep the tourmaline in your pocket, ground and center, journal it. But yeah. Titan in chat says it's like spiritual energies doesn't recognize distance.
No,
it really doesn't. Because distance, in a way, is a construct of the physical realm. And spiritual energy doesn't necessarily doesn't always manifest in the physical realm. So that's a really good segue. Thank you, Titan. All right. So
yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks, Julia. And yeah, crazy stuff happening. So if you're experiencing
For
crazy stuff
sure.
in the next couple days, Julia, this means you too. Write it down, and that way you can look back at it, in a couple weeks or months or whatever, and like, oh, that's what that meant. Oh, I should. Oh, the It's like, well, man, I'm glad I ducked there. So, yes, journal it. So, thanks,
Oh,
Julia, for calling
okay, bye.
in. Bye. So yeah, spiritual energy really doesn't recognize distance. It's the first through the wormhole. And It's cold enough. My nose is running. Doggone it. So spirit, the element of spirit, when it comes to our pagan practice or witchcraft, or whatever I should just pick a name and go with it because I call it pagan practice and witchcraft and workings and rituals, and they're not all the same things with the same words, but similar. And yeah, I just should pick a name. I promise I will. So anyway, so tonight we're talking about the element of spirit. We've gone through the other 4 already, and for most workings, we need to have all of those elements available. And so the element of spirit is also known as akasha, and it's considered a super element, if you will. It's the binding force between all of the other elements, because it fits into all the spaces in between. Mm-hmm. Now you see what I did there, and it's the 5th element, absolutely. Just not a goofy redhead, crazy redhead, scantily clad redhead, however you want to put it. The akashic energy, the 5th element, is the binding that runs through all matter. And it's also the collective unconscious of life forms. So akasha itself means inner space. It's a Persian word, or East Indian, I think. Hold on. Lewis asked a question. Lewis wants to know if there is a 6th element. Not. So it depends on what your school of thought is.
Well, there's more than 7 chakras.
Well, yes. And it's Titan's question too. So, other than being carbon, which is the 6th element, for those sciencey geeks out there. Earth, water, air, fire. So there's spirit, and there's also some consider space or void to be the 6th element. So
Dark matter.
It has the anti-spirit, the antimatter. So again, it depends on your tradition as far as whether or not you honor the void as part of your rituals. Generally speaking, because of the pentacle or pentagram, we go with the 5 elements: earth, air, water, fire, and spirit. Have a great day, Aussie. And so, yes, void is, I suppose, yes. But instead of a 5-pointed star, you'd have a 6-pointed star if you're going to put it in one of your ritual circles. So it's more of a Star of David. But then, it's just a star. Just because it's a Star of David doesn't mean it's the only star.
Well, stars have more than 5 points. They also have less than 3.
So, yeah. Yes. Mini-Me and I talk about that when we go through the circle stars. So, she doesn't call roundabouts roundabouts. They're circle stars. Some have 4 points and some have 3 points. It sounds cooler than a roundabout. I like her interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
So, with spirit, they consider it also unnameable because it is non-tangible rather than tangible. So, a tourmaline, Julia, Lots of tourmaline. Put tourmaline quartz in your pocket. Tourmaline is very protective. So, anyways, so we're talking about spirit, blah, blah, blah. So if, have you heard, you've heard of the collective unconscious, right? Titan, I'm going through the spirit element now. It's not necessarily augment or bolster. It's like the glue that holds everything together and also the memory of all things.
Hence the what you just said.
Yeah. So
Collective unconscious.
yeah, the collective unconscious. So okay, hold on. Let me give you the actual definition of collective. I can't spell collective unconscious. Okay, as defined by the Oxford Dictionary in Jungian psychology, the collective unconscious is the part of the unconscious mind which is derived from ancestral memory and experience and is common to all humankind as distinct from the individual's unconsciousness. So basically,
it's that primal thing.
Yeah. It's the primal thing. It's if you're tapping into like past lives or doing past life regression, that's where your past lives are stored for you to access them. Or future lives, everything's stored there. Your spirit guides are there. So if you're going to be tapping in and talking to your spirit guides, you're going to be tapping into the collective unconscious because that's where the collective, it's all the same. I'm not explaining this very well. Sometimes I wish I could just, run a video from my brain and it would make sense to other people. So yeah, it's a building block. You got to have it. Spirit. Yeah, it's like 20 seconds to commercial, and I'm just
now I understand.
Yeah, yes, exactly, Titan. It is everywhere and nowhere. Like blondes. I'm kidding.
Oh God.
No, I'm joking. But yes. So I shouldn't say that too loud. I have too many blondes in my world. So, anyways, we're off to break. Our first break already, which is crazy. And when we come back, we'll pick up the spirit and try to answer Titan's question better.
Mother of darkness, mother of light.
my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Tonight, we're talking about the fifth element, the element of spirit. And, yeah, Titan, I'll be answering your question throughout the evening, so there. So, yes, the Akashic records, or the collective unconscious of the human life forms, or actually of life forms in general, is accessible pretty much by anybody, some by accident, some by intention. You do, or you should have some sort of training before you go trying to tap into it, just because it's not just, like opening the door and you can walk in, or taking the blue pill instead of the red pill. You want to have a little bit of guidance, a little bit of understanding, and protect yourself and know what your limits are, because you don't want to get lost in there. So be careful as you dabble. So to access the collective knowledge of all things past, present, and future that exist within the collective unconscious, some people will put, there's a big giant quantum computer in California that supposedly has access to the collective unconscious, according to certain chaos magicians. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't want to roll my eyes at it too much, because it's possibly legit, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. The problem is so much of the element of spirit is intangible, unless you go ghost hunting and you see them often, or or speak with your spirit guides, or it's a lot harder to connect with the collective unconscious. So Drama is on the air, and I can actually hear her purring through the microphone. Goofy cat. Yep. So with let's see, the elements that emerge from the element of spirit are considered immutable. They're changeless sources of all energy. The Akasha is the realm of potentiality, of promise, of paths not yet taken, of unformed galaxies, outer space. It's the
spaces between.
The space between, yes. It's the other path. It's the, when you come to a corner and you're like, I could make a left and I could go to the grocery store, or I could make a right and I could go to the other grocery store, or I could go straight and I could go to a third grocery store. Which am I going to take? Well, each of those different paths have different results, and all three of those options are going to be available in the collective unconscious. It's just a matter of trying to tap into it a little bit more. Akasha is always present within our bodies. Some are, some say that it's the spark of life, or your soul even. And that your soul is just a little bit of that Akashic energy housed within the body. That's part of who you are. It's your USB stick, if you will, before you're downloaded into the collective unconscious. Akasha is sometimes thought to be symbolically present on the earth. More often, it's seen as the mother or creator of the elements. It's occasionally used in natural magic, but in order to do so, you kind of need to understand it a little bit more. It's harder to call on the spirit of, or the element of spirit, without, or solely as part of a ritual or spell. It's one of the building blocks. That's one thing. If it's the sole energy source of a spell or ritual, it's harder, because you have to understand it a little bit more. So it's not for an element for the novice to work with all by itself. So primarily, Akasha is unbeingness. Its energy, which extends everywhere throughout the universe, has not yet achieved form and substance. It's the primal source of energy that creates and fuels the elements. So it's the
Well,
calm before the storm. It's the
right, but you could also think of it as the necessary ingredient for the other elements, which are easier to deal with because there's actual physical manifestations and actual, tangibility to it.
Mhm.
So it would make sense that it would be harder to garner the power of, because it does work within the spaces between and between all things, and
Mhm.
it's yeah, it's the antimatter. It's the
it's
antimatter
the
of.
antimatter.
It's the antimatter.
Um,
So I mean, it's less tangible. So you would have to have something that would uh you would have to be someplace in your head, your being, your spirit, whatever that would be,
mhm.
to go into that nothing. It's kind of the same. It's when you're talking about that thing, that kind of stuff. You're talking about Hinduism. You're talking about Buddhism. The Great Awakening and the Enlightenment.
Mhm.
The realization that there is no spoon.
Right.
So
So Lewis asks, mentions in the chat room that he thought Akashic records were a history of the soul.
well, that's where that stuff's kept.
Hmm. So yeah, the Akashic records of an individual are records of a soul from the time that it sparks to the time it returns to the ether. And so yeah, it's
That would be Aether, actually.
okay. Anyways, it's your USB stick. It's your what's that TV show? It's your stack.
Oh, carbon. Altered carbon.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So the Akashic records resemble a library of events and responses from within your consciousness.
It's where your lessons have been journaled.
Yeah, it's your own individual journal. And it's Captain's log, Stargate.
Anyhow,
So yeah,
dork.
I know. How many geeky films or shows can I talk about in one show? It's a little bit of everything. So because it is, the primal source, the primal energy that fuels all of the elements, it contains complete and balanced energy. Earth, air, fire, water, all of it are part of the Akashic records or Akashic energy. It's all one thing. So it's a basic building block. And generally speaking, spirit alone is not used for magical purposes because it is magic, if that makes any sense. So it helps fuel the other elements. So sometimes when we need to tap into the spirits that our ancestors, especially, that's when you're going to be using your Akashic energy more or spirit more. So Titan asks, so can one tap into that element by using creativity and imagination? Yeah. If you're say you're psychic, for instance, also, and you talk to your spirit guides, you're tapping into that collective unconscious by talking to your spirit guides. Like you're communicating with them directly, and they're able to translate the collective unconscious into something that you can understand a little bit better. For those who don't have that direct link, it's kind of like the collective unconscious is in Cyrillic script, and all you read is English. And the only way to get from the Cyrillic to the English is first you have to translate it into German and then to French and then into English.
Oh, like Hawaiian.
Yeah. So, yes, because aliens wear hats. So it just, the psychics, or see the oracles at Delphi, for instance. Okay, granted there were some chemicals involved, but
There's a lot of chemicals involved.
or if you're on an ayahuasca journey or something like that, you're able to tap into the collective unconscious directly or through your guides. But it's That's why often if you're going on an ayahuasca journey, it's recommended that you go with someone who knows what they're doing. You're not just flying solo. Because sometimes you do need a guide, someone to call you back and keep you grounded and empty the bucket. So.
Never understood that part.
Well, I'd try it once.
So, you better find a chamber boy.
So yeah, it is constant. We just have to learn how to access it. It's always there. Kind of like potential energy is always there.
Quiet your mind and the spirit will come.
Sure. So, the basic nature of the spirit element is unknowable. It's a projective and receptive energy. In some translations, it's considered the space or void. In some, it is like the anti-void, so it kind of depends on your tradition, your path. There really doesn't have a ritual form or an herbal or stone connection. I suppose the closest would be like Moldavite. Yes, Moldavite. Or meteors, because those come from space. In theory, they've moved through the different.
Did you say mirrors?
No.
You said Moldavite and what?
Meteors.
Meteors.
Yes, beans. So
So meteors are your beans. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, meteors.
Yeah, here's one of those.
But let's see. Other than that, it's as far as directions, it could be north, east, south, west, any of those. It's within, without, it's up, it's down. It has no direction, it has no dimension. So it's everything and nothing. It is. It is the spoon, and it is not the spoon. So, and generally, if you're talking about the element of spirit, most people assume you're talking about religion in some way, shape, or another, because the way mankind interprets spirit today is as a religious aspect, or for instance, with Christianity, there's God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. So the three deities in that monotheistic. Yeah.
How did I just hear it?
I
can't remember.
So, do you need to go through a door or some other portal to kickstart the memory?
Yeah, apparently. But it was something. It was friggin' funny. It was like the father whose son is the manifestation of himself and his friend and the friendly ghost or something like that. I can't remember. It was just hilarious. Yeah, I'll have to remember it anyhow.
Okay then. So if it's easier, think of the element of spirit or aether as a celestial energy that fills all spaces.
Mm-hmm.
The Greeks saw it as being higher than the earthen plane, and also felt that ether, specifically, rather than aether.
Ether will get you there.
Well, also,
Is it ether or ether?
Escher.
Oh God. That's just confusing,
right? But it was considered by the Greeks to be part of gravity. So I don't know. Titan says it would seem that religion is constricting to allow access to that element.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very much so.
The dogmas and control issues, and
So, whoa! I wish I could remember the name of the movie.
Just start talking.
Yeah, I know. It's playing through in my head. The main character is a gal. She lives in an apartment that leaks rain all the time, and she starts having the stigmata. That's what it is.
It's Patricia Arquette.
Yes. And one of or supposedly the stigmata happened because a priest found another book of the Bible, and it started off with the book of the Bible, said that uh, God can be found everywhere, not just in churches. You can, look under a rock and God is there. And
Well, that says that in the Bible, though.
I know, but
It was a little more clear.
Yeah, it exactly. It was a little more clear because the Bible,
Parables and such.
yeah, it often speaks in tongues,
Yeah.
and is hard to understand unless you've studied it and studied it and studied it. And so it came out. This particular book of the Bible came out and said that basically spirit is everywhere. The energy of God is everywhere, and a lot of religions today, seem to be using the dogmas or the rule of man, if you will, to restrict the access to that energy of the spirit, which is really unfortunate because I don't know. I can walk outside right now and look around. It's like, no, I don't believe in the Big Bang. I don't feel that there's just
What?
no. I am a creationist, but not. I don't know. I don't think God
So
made it.
chaos didn't spawn everything?
Unless chaos was a cat and knocked a cup off onto a computer, I don't know.
Could be.
It could be, yeah.
But
just dust motes in somebody's computer board.
Just
I don't think it was just
chaos
two
is unpredictable.
random atoms bumped into
Chaos.
each other and decided to.
Chaos and Earth, Gaia bumped into each
Yeah,
other.
you're right. Yeah, we've been watching odd shows, but the dinosaurs ate too many cookies. Yeah, So, anyways, what I was just going to say is that to go outside and look at like snowflakes falling out of the sky, there's
Intelligent design.
intelligent design is not an accident. Julia says chaos is a woman.
Huh.
Very possibly. Or a 4-year-old in a china shop. Anyways, so let's see. YTFP Chris asks, where did chaos come from? Well, supposedly chaos was there first, and then form happened. So I don't know. It's
Law drew out of chaos
mhm.
because there had to be something that created those laws for a reason. Otherwise, there would be no laws and there'd be lawlessness.
Chaos and anarchy, but then it wouldn't be just chaos and anarchy because chaos and anarchy would be the laws. Yeah, suddenly it's complicated. So
Yeah, it just got really complicated. But
we're going
that's
to
the way of it.
stick with the element of spirit. We'll talk about chaos on another night. Let's see. In the metaphysical tradition, the concept of spirit goes further. It is, in effect, the monad, M-O-N-A-D, the center of the sacred space, the mandala of the universe, and beyond. In patterns of the cosmos, aether is the elusive fifth element that had a circular motion versus fixed elementals that move in lines. Effectively, the spirit element does not follow any particular rule of energy, but it is the rule. It is the glue of the gods. It is the glue of chaos. It is the glue of everything. Alchemists knew that the fifth element had quintessence. Students of alchemy hoped to isolate this heavenly element and add it to medicine, feeling it was pure and a panacea. So basically, it would fix everything if you could just put it in a pill so people could eat it or swallow it. Energy healers, in a way, do this, or the miracle workers, if you will. Energy workers, light workers, I suppose, if you want to call them that, but energy workers kind of tap into it a bit or have a closer connection to it. Alchemists think they created it. They distilled alcohol 7 different times into an elixir. Yeah, that sounds like it'd definitely cure what ails you.
Probably kills you.
Probably. The idea or the theory faded because it was replaced by Einstein's observation that ether occupies the space between all objects.
Mm-hmm.
So Einstein beat up the alchemists? Is that what it is? Or beat out the alchemists?
Yes.
Okay. Titan asks, the spirit element can be used to channel chaos into harmony. Yes. And no. It's both the chords and the discords. You got. Here's the thing. In order to truly be happy, you have to understand pain and sadness.
Which is the chaotic part.
Right. In order to, really enjoy warmth, sometimes you have to experience cold. In order to really value wealth, sometimes you have to experience poverty. So you have to have both sides of the coin or both sides of the path. That's part of the reason why I feel magic is a path, or paganism is a path. It's not black magic or white magic or gray magic. It is magic. It's not negative spirituality or bad spirituality. It is just spirituality. It's the tool. It's what the person does with it that changes it. If you set your hammer on the desk and you tell it to go hang a picture up, it's really not going to listen to you. It's just going to sit there. It's just the tool. You have to pick it up and use it, whether it's to break a window or pound a nail. It all depends on what it is that you use it for. It's your intent. So yeah, dark matter, dark energy, yes, but also matter and anti-energy, good energy. So it's both. It's light and dark. So Einstein couldn't actually define a physical property of spirit. Instead, he just he took spirit and it contributed to his definition or in his concept of relativity, wave theory, and also dark matter. So in Einstein's opinion,
it all came from chaos.
Yep, dark matter is a part of the spirit element or aether, matter and dark matter, antimatter. The basic Titan says that you and I are that Don and Paisley are the personification of yin and yang. Sure, honey bunch.
Way too much yang there, buddy. Not enough yin.
Maybe? I don't know. I love you guys. So, the basic symbolic values of the spirit or aether element in magic include transmutation, alchemical processes, divine intervention, the eternal nature, and energy and in motion. Aether doesn't really have a physical presence, so it's kind of hard to nail it down, let alone embrace a global view of its importance in our spiritual lives. So when you stop and think about it, though, people who don't embrace spirit at all often, to me, it seems like they're lacking in something. It's kind of like having a salad and forgetting the croutons, or it's
how dare you?
I know, or forgetting to season the steak correctly. It's the missing component for those who are 100% absolutely do not believe in any kind of spirituality of any kind. But even then, they're often as devout in their lack of belief as they are in their belief. And the anti-religious people, what are they called?
Atheists.
Thank you. Some of those atheists are as religious in their beliefs,
yeah,
and more devout in their beliefs than a lot of the Christians I've encountered. So
Well, to not make a choice is to still make a choice.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It really is. So, but even they still have some form of spirituality or something. Whether it is they knock on wood to keep the bad thing from happening, or
superstitious is built from folklore, and folklore is a type of religion.
Yep. So.
Well, folklore is a path.
Is a path, yes. So, since Aether doesn't have that physical presence, though, a spiral is often used as a symbol or representation of spirit, because you can easily imagine the circles just continuing forever and ever and ever. Light workers will often tell us, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to stop there. We're at break time already."
Wow.
Yeah. We'll see you in a few.
Lord, within the sun, as we will, so mote it be, this thou forever does.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Oh. Don lost his hat. You'll never guess where I found it. in my singing bowl.
What?
Your hat.
My what?
Your hat.
My beanie.
It's a beanie.
There's a difference between a hat and a beanie.
Does it go upon your head?
It's a toque.
The toque. All right, singing bowl time. Ha. Love my bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to like my bowl. I've heard you play it a few times when you're just down here doing your podcast, doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or are you just trying to scare the cat? Oh, love the bowl. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, Titan, one of the 5 greatest bands in the history of forever.
History of forever. How do you spell toque? Is it Tuke? Is that really how you spell it?
You spell it like a Canadian, you get it right.
My brain just shut off. I have no idea how to spell like a Canadian.
They spell just like us, except when they're writing in French. Or French,
Ish.
French pigeon, East Quebecian.
You know, I couldn't even tell you. Yeah. Toque. A la boot. All right. So, talking about the element of spirit tonight. An integral part of our practices, basically, regardless of your tradition, your path, your religion. Even though it's the most intangible, it's the glue that holds everything together.
It's the most plentiful.
Most plentiful and probably the least understood, honestly.
You think?
Yeah. Light workers tell us that aether acts as a bridge between earth and the body, heaven and the spirit, and within our own body, it is the conduit between our soul and our bodies. There are some theories that God, the god or gods, let's just say gods,
Mm-hmm.
have used this element as the essence that created everything on all the planes. I could see that.
They were still created from chaos.
Yes, they were. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with the whole USB stick.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might as well.
There's an upgrade. Up,
Yeah.
down, downloads, upgrades,
Stack.
stacks.
So where the traditional 4 elements have fixed locations on the wheel of life, spirit is the surprise factor. It provides dynamics, a spark, and another level of philosophy. All living things have aether to some degree, that indescribable something that connects us to a larger picture, including those beings that exist just outside of normal awareness.
Beings.
Beings.
There's two syllables.
Hmm. And this is a capital being.
Oh.
So not just
Well.
the deities, but also Bigfoot. Oh, hey, Mr. Basil.
Yeah. The other one's trying to get down here, but he closed the gate
Yep.
behind him. Hold on, I gotta go save her.
Yeah, the dog got stuck, which is funny. Oh, they probably want out. That's why he's down here. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Basil. Old dog. Most or quite a few people feel that life is not as simple as black and white. However, black and white are both the 2 colors often associated with the spirit or aether, and often they're together. Think of the yin and yang symbol. For those
Right
of
there
them,
on your screen.
Yep. In the YouTube world, I've got the yin and yang kind of doing the whole spiral in the background. Yeah, boxers. And also, alternatively, I should say, a rainbow that embraces all colors, even as spirit embodies all things, makes a suitable representation of this element in the sacred space. So, say a rainbow opal, a fire opal, all the different colors in there, labradorite, anything with the pearlescent qualities to it that you can see, the different colors in it, that shimmer, the shine, even moonstone, you can see it, the prismatic, yep. That would be, hey Deb, you had a good show tonight, love. But so those stones, those crystals that have all of those different colors to them, are often really good representations of spirit on your altar or in your your spells, your rituals, that kind of thing. I was just thinking the Megatron's cube, the crystal grids. Crystal grids, that's what it is.
Crystal grids. Oh, okay.
I'm not drinking caffeinated tea tonight, and I probably should have. I only had 1 cup of coffee today.
Okay, congratulations. It's good for the spirit.
Yeah, it was like 12 hours ago. It was a long time.
That's not good for the spirit.
Nope. Ethereal beings and forces reside in a different space than humankind, and it's often difficult for us to understand their purposes and motivations, including the divine or the deities. The earthly plane limits us somewhat, since we've not transcended the need for a different incarnation, in theory. So when we're in this incarnation, yeah, we're stuck, we're it. It's... But when we pass from this life to, say, the waiting room before we go on to our next life or whatever, that's when we tap back into that collective unconscious, and we're kind of storing that, we're uploading that USB stick and getting all the information, all into one place. Let's see. Titan says, I think I got it. Earth, wind, water, fire, and spirit are frequencies. Love, hate, joy, sadness, etc. are sub-frequencies. Yeah, I can go with that one. Yeah, that's an acceptable translation. Let's see. The earthly plane limits us somewhat, since we've not transcended or gone to a different incarnation. So there are times, though, when we're able to reach beyond and touch something greater than ourselves, the ether or the spirit. An example of this would be like the whirling dervishes. They twirl around, making themselves the center of a sacred mandala. The goal is turning with energy until they contact the divine mind and understand its will. In effect, Aether and Spirit reminds us to get to the point and keep focused on that point as if it were the lighthouse of our souls. No, not you. I was talking to the other one.
You've got to stop hitting your whatever pack.
I'm not touching anything.
Oh, gracious.
I don't know what to tell you.
Killing me.
Yep.
Turn my equipment up.
Yep. Okay.
I said no. I said you're tearing up my equipment.
I'm not touching your equipment right now.
Whatever.
That's the dog. I'm going to blame it on the dog. Some of the purposes for which Aether or spirit are invoked include calling and commanding fetches or other spiritual forces, communing with spirits, working with more than one elemental force consecutively, arcane magic like alchemy, mysticism, illusion, or energetic manipulation like telekinesis. Metatron's cube is a crystal grid, yes, or energon cube, yeah. There's a couple different of those. Flower of life, whichever one you want to go with there. Chris mentioned it. So, for anyone who practices divination of any kind, especially those who are psychics, mediums, or do channeling, the element of spirit is the element. So the messages also come from your spirit guides. And no matter how well we know the sacred symbolism of tarot, astrology, I Ching, runes, or crystals, and numerology, or other forms of divination, at the end of the day, the message passes through us from the spirit. So when you're working with your divination tools, whatever they may be, remember, they're just the tool. They're just getting the message from the spirit world. They're something I've heard other people say in the past is that they need to work with a tarot deck that they bought and they haven't done it well. They're pretty sure the tarot deck is mad at them, and they're giving the personality traits to a tool. It's like saying your hammer's mad because you left it in the toolbox. It's not your spirit. It's not the tool that's angry. It's possibly your spirit guides that are angry because you're not communicating correctly, or maybe you're using the wrong tool, like using a rock to pound in the nail instead of a hammer. So it just, yes. Deb says, let's hear it for those spirit guides. They're rocking it tonight. Yes, absolutely. The spirit guides are huge. And yes, they will be put out with us or unhappy with us if we forget to say thank you. Or show gratitude, perhaps, instead of saying thank you. Sometimes that's just listening is a way of showing gratitude. Let's see. In tarot, practitioners often liken the element of spirit with the major arcana of a deck. The major or higher arcana consists of 21 cards meant to represent the path to deep self-awareness and eventually enlightenment. Each card of the major arcana depicts a fundamental esoteric lesson. While that can sound lofty, all such lessons have a mundane reflection in our daily lives too. The interpretive value of the cards comes frequently from the Golden Dawn system or Jungian psychology. Even so, metaphysical teachers encourage people new to the tarot to meditate on them and see what other meanings might lie on a personal level. Just as spirit speaks to you in a unique way, so do the different portraits of the major arcana. Again, part of the reason why we journal everything, because sometimes you're going to find a meaning in something that if you didn't understand the interpretations, would be harder for you. Oh, come on. Let's see. Spirit or Aether and the major arcana have various messages for our souls, but one theme does come through. Quality learning is rarely fast or without setbacks and struggle. In fact, the obstacles we face act like refining fires in our spiritual quest. When major arcana cards come up frequently in a personal reading, it typically means that you're not heeding Spirit's call or guidance. Learn the lesson before you then take the next step. So yes, if you do a tarot reading every day for the next month, and every doggone day you pull the Tower card,
you're still not doing something right.
You have your head in the sand, and you're not paying attention to something. You're missing a big part of the message. So take your fingers out of your ears, open your eyeballs, and pay attention. Seriously. That could be true, actually. If you keep getting the same card over and over and over again, you're not paying attention. You're not getting the lesson. It's mini-me in math, for instance. For some reason, you can tell her that 5 plus 4 is 9, 5 plus 4 is 9, 4 plus 5 is 9. But if you say, what is 9 minus 5? She'll say 6. And you look at her, it's like, are you sure about that? Let's think about this. And she's like, oh, well, hold on. And she does the whole math out on her fingers or uses a number line. And she's like, oh, it's 4. And then you ask her the same question in 5 minutes. And she's like, it's 3. And so the sad thing is she's like in the top 20% of her age group. But
she's 6.
I know, but it's sometimes doing math with her is enough to make me poke out my eye. So my point here is you can give her the same numbers over and over and over again, and most of the time she'll get the right answer, but sometimes she'll just be stubborn or need a nap or a cookie or something, and she'll give you the wrong answer for 15 minutes. And then it's nap time. So maybe you need to take a nap and then do a new card reading. And
how about you just suggest meditation?
Meditation? No, because sometimes you need a nap.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Naps are wasted on the young. I'm telling you.
Yes, they are.
I've wanted more naps as an adult than I ever did as a child. Anyways, so yes, if you keep getting the same things in your divination practices over and over again, especially when you're asking for yourself, it means you're not really paying attention to the answer that you're receiving, or you've missed the answer in some way, shape, or form. Go back through and reread your journal entries and see what it was. So, in numerology, the element of spirit is aligned with the divine number of 1. The number 1 is perfect for spirit, the I am of the universe. No matter how you see the divine, this is the inception point of creation. As a primal force, spirit is the mover and shaker of the universe. Without aether, nothing would exist. And when you find your foundations quaking, you can be pretty sure it's 1 or the spirit sending you a wake-up call. 1's energetic vibration has purpose and metal. It guides and directs, being sure and steady in its path. It and spirit pragmatically and justly build the cornerstones for all civilizations and beings. Both have no place for charlatans. When you work with the number 1 or spirit or aether, being true and real is nothing less than essential. So basically, again, if you keep, spirit will send us wake-up calls. Is one of those things like when I finally clicked after talking to a friend of mine a few times, who's a priestess, and why I kept seeing the same symbology over and over again. I knew it was Kaninos calling to me, but how often do the deities really call to you anymore? Not as often as you might think if you read Facebook or Instagram or Reddit or any of those. But it does happen. And so yeah, I was kind of one of those, no, not really. Seriously. But yeah, after talking to someone who knew more about the pagan path than I did, it was like one of those aha moments. So yeah, I was getting that wake-up call, and apparently I kept hitting that snooze button. So sometimes those wake-up calls get bigger and bigger and bigger until they finally come and smack you upside the head, and you're like, oh, that's what it was. So yes. Pay attention. This is why we journal things. Those things that stand out, the odd things. They're important too. So when it comes to crystals, plants, and animals, philosophically, all things could technically come under the domain of spirit or aether. There really isn't anything that stands out having more of a symbolic value, technically. Angel auras, meteorites, phantom stones, quartz, Shivalingam stones, and zebra stones, I suppose would be about the only stones that come to mind as far as
Shivalingam.
Because they are often they have some of those other metaphysical qualities to them. I mean, Shivalingam stones should kind of speak for themselves, but meteorites actually go through the cosmos to get here. Yeah, that kind of thing. For animals, like the spider, because the spider is a weaver, or the chameleon, who is a changer, could be animals associated with spirit. And plants, apple, or other trees that are tied to some of the creation mythologies. So Yggdrasil would be, it comes to mind more than the apple tree, although I suppose for Christians the apple tree would be the thing. Or
Duh.
so yeah, it all depends upon your tradition. Stop.
The tree of knowledge.
It probably had skunk fruit on it or something. So
No, Justin.
when for dream interpretation, when spirit or aether takes part in your dreamscape, you will likely find yourself with plenty of information. It's rare that spirit weaves mysteries into a message unless those challenges help you on your path and or quest. If you're uncertain as to how to interpret those messages, look to the rest of your dream and or dream dictionary for potential insights. Justin's bad. Justin, you're grounded.
He's just being a cunnilingus.
He's.
Linguist.
I swear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, spirit or ether deities are those that played key roles in creation. Ahura Mazda, Allah, Amaterasu, Anat, Apollo, Baal, Brahma, Saradwin, Dagon, Diana, Ea, Fortuna, Freyr, Gaia, Hathor, Hestia, Inanna, Isis, Lu, Maya, Nana, Njord, Nut, Odin, Rama, Shiva, Sol, Tiamat, Tyr, Vesta, Vishnu, and Yahweh.
What about Eros and Uranus? I'm sorry, Uranus. And Gaia.
I said Gaia.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this is not an exclusive list. This is a list. But yeah, deities that are associated with creation are generally those who are part of the deities that are most often associated with spirit. Zeus. Zeus, sort of.
Zeus was a child. No, Zeus was a child of the Titans,
Mm-hmm.
which was like generation 4.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Zeus was a child of Cronus and Rhea. Yeah. And then, of course, he had his brothers, Poseidon and Hades.
Yeah, this was interesting stories that we were watching on the Netflix or Prime or whatever it was. So, when it comes to dreams, again, this is part of the reason why we do the dream journals, guys. Because there's a lot of stuff in our dreams that are important when it comes to divination or understanding something that has happened. Like, for instance, prophetic dreams often allows the joy of experiencing a happy situation twice, which is cool. Or maybe see problems coming and avoid that negativity then. So, but that's a gift from the spirit or the ether. Lucid dreams, often the astral travel, the moving through the universe at will. That's again directly from ether or the spirit. Nightmares are considered spiritual gifts, honestly, because it allows your subconscious to battle some of your personal demons without having to deal with people at the same time. Because facing our fears is hard and often come with emotional scars, but sometimes by dreaming about that stuff gives us a chance to release the stress. Justin Goodearth, what literature would you suggest him to look up if he wanted to get a general overview of paganism? He's only seen or heard of pieces and have never actually studied. Oh, goodness. That's because there is a lot of information out there. For most people, I generally recommend The Inner Temple of Witchcraft as a beginner book, because it's not just, and it's by Scott Cunningham, and not just because it's not my gig, but it's a good spirituality book, not just for witches or pagans, and it's kind of a good primer. Let me see what I've got in my...
Let me see if I can get on MeWe, and I'll send them a link to where I get mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
I don't know if I can get. Oh, hey, I'm on it. Yay.
I do when I'm driving, I listen to Audible books often. One on my list is The Path of Paganism by John Beckett and Christopher Hughes. I would probably, because the book I'm listening to now, like some books you pick up and you start reading, and you get through the first chapter, you're like, well, okay, it was an okay chapter. It wasn't really, gripping, but I'll keep reading it, and then you get the second chapter, and it's like, well, maybe it needs 3 or 4 chapters, and you keep reading, and suddenly you're through the whole book, and it's like, well, that's some time I'll never get back. So yeah, that's where I'm
Break
at.
time.
But we're gonna go to our last break. When we come back, we'll finish up talking about spirit.
Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea. I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. And just before break, we were talking about beginner books, and I said something in chat that kind of made me giggle. Well, Justin first said, I'm actually familiar with most of it, but I hear terms in theology sometimes that doesn't fit into the story. And that's real, my response, basically. Different authors definitely color their books with their own opinions. Okay, so yes, all authors do that, yes. But what I mean by that is there's the assumption that their own dogma is the only dogma. And it is a little frustrating because sometimes, it's hard to find a book or words or even a group that really lines up with your own particular belief system or your own belief set or the way that you feel is correct. That's why I consider myself an intuitive witch. I intuitively pull from different places that match my own interpretation of what is right. As far as, I don't feel that paganism is a religion as much for me as, say, Wicca is a religion, because I'm not choosing to worship deities. Instead, I choose to honor them. For me, honoring is more of a relationship rather than worship is more of a submission type thing. I'm not very submissive. That's just not my nature. I'm kind of a control freak. So, so for me, it's just that's the type of relationship I have, is one of honoring and relationship rather than supplication, if you will. So, yeah, it is often hard to really understand what your belief is, or your own, or that could beliefisms, yeah, and it's because there are so many different things out there that you could believe or do, and sometimes they parts of it make sense, and it's like you're like, okay, this is it, this is who I am, and then
oops, oh, well, I guess I didn't understand what that meant.
Exactly. It's like, oh, nope, sorry, that's not me. Have a nice day. And you're like, okay, going away. And that's part of the reason why it's good to be part of a coven or circle or whatever, because they do go through and explain what's going on and the different belief systems and the tradition. But a lot of it does come with, each of those different covens have their own, belief set, their own religion to them. And it's, plus right now it's kind of a weird time in the world. It's hard to get together and converse with someone to make sure that you guys are of like-minded thoughts and faith direction or faith path. So, I suppose that's part of the reason why I wrote the kids' book, that I'm still working on illustrating, because sometimes I'm not as good at illustrating as others, and it's all graphic design. And yeah, I'm learning things. But it's about half done. So maybe if I am able to really work on it Sunday, I'll be able to get more of it busted out. So, my goal is still to get it published by Christmas, so I'm running out of time. So happy thoughts. And yeah, Justin, just right. Anybody who's listening, if you're new to the pagan path, or you've been on the pagan path for a while and you just want to understand it more, then make sure you're journaling and writing things down, because it's just easier for you to learn about it and understand it more when you do have that written process down, because sometimes we actually have to have that, the act of writing things for a concept to fully realize in our own brains or psyches. So anyways, back to spirituality just real quick, and the element of spirit. Let's see. In dreams, I got to spell here. So if you're dreaming, say, about spiders, for instance, because they are considered a spirit animal, if you will, or a spirit, or associated with spirit, because they are weavers. If you're a guy and you're dreaming about spiders, often it's more of a maternal image. Ancient Grecian and Egyptian and Native Americans often associate spider dreams with fate and are ties to all times and all peoples. In Greece, Arachne spun the thread of people's lives. Egyptians had Neith, who wove the world, and Pueblo Indians have Spider Woman, who created the world from 2 strands of thread. Or you might be feeling trapped in somebody else's snare, or you may be creating connections to help you to finish a goal. Networking is not direct, but just like a spider's web, might take some interesting turns. If you have spirals in your dreams, that's kind of a big deal, honestly, because throughout all cultures, spiral symbols the swirling powers of creation. Hence, dreams about spirals are powerful omens which can have a variety of symbolic meanings. Dreams about spirals can represent the very essence of individuality, like DNA molecules, for instance. Or additionally, the spiral is very sacred in Celtic culture in that it represents evolution, surrender, and release. Revolutions of time and space. Depending upon other symbols surrounding the spirals, this dream could be a remembrance of or literal astral travel trip to a past life where you were a Celt. Depending upon its direction of movement, dreaming of spirals can indicate a type of ascension into higher thought patterns or a descent into self and introspection, like sinking. Downward spirals can indicate a strong focus on the less evolved animal nature within. Stationary spirals can be an alternative type of stair or circle dream. In matters of love and caring, sacred geometry depicts the heart chakra as a spiral flame. In the cycle of death and rebirth, in a literal or figurative sense, that's why many ancient sacred dances had circular patterns. And then in psychic abilities, the ancient Roman augurs carried a staff called a litus, which was often capped with a spiral pattern, likely acting as a focus for the seer. So think, all those TV shows where they have basically it looks like a pinwheel or a circle, and it's spinning around, and it's got the spiral on it to, hypnotize you. Basically, it's just a tool for focus. That's all it is. But most people associated it with hypnotism, which is weird. Let's see. BuildingBeautifulSouls.com has an awesome dream dictionary, by the way. And that's kind of where I'm going and looking here. Just checking to see if they had anything under Aether. I'm not seeing it. Does Ether? Do they have anything under Ether? Doop. And the answer is no. They go from escape to evil to excavation.
Excavation.
Yeah, excavation dreams.
What does it mean if you're excavating?
You're hunting for something that seems elusive or hidden from direct view. Due to soil involved, this may have something to do down to your personal foundations. Metaphorically, you're digging up the dirt on someone or a situation, or maybe you're uncovering treasures that are just waiting for your persistent efforts to discover them.
Mm-hmm. Oak Island.
Persistent, yes. Or digging through your own past to discover the worth of experiences and how they've made you what and who you are today.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's pretty good. The next one is explosion dreams. Basically, your disapproval or dissatisfaction with a particular idea. So you're blowing it up in your dreams. Sure.
Do bosses count?
Sometimes, sure. In our space dreams, is an abyss that seems vast and untouchable, but one that was the wonders of human technology are slowly making accessible. What new parts of yourself lie just beyond your reach that might likewise soon open up. Or a more universal mindset that ponders many potentialities and dimensions to any situation before making a decision or drawing a conclusion. With space dreams, if you're toward or flying into space, likely a type of ascension dream. And the space dreams are metaphorically representative of the immense potential of the mind. Yeah. If you ever wonder how much random stuff your brain can soak up, try trivia night at your local bar. Yeah. You will see what, especially after having a little bit of alcoholic beverages. Yeah. It's amazing.
Do you mean like imbibing in the spirits?
Yeah. 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 Because, yeah. So, dream interpretation is really, really cool. It's often hard to translate your dreams, though, because, yes, like this dream dictionary that I was just reading from, buildingbeautifulsouls.com, really, really good website. But some things are going to be very, very specific to you. Like Justin, just in chat, says that he actually thinks and focuses on a downward spiral when he's trying to go to sleep at night. Yeah, I mean, if that's the downward spiral is what's putting you to sleep at night, that's not a bad thing.
I've always considered a downward spiral a bad thing. That's just me, though.
I tend to, it varies. I can't even say any one trick works for me, because what might work for me tonight won't tomorrow and didn't yesterday. So yeah, it varies. Let's see, is there anything else that I wanted to mention? Oh, if you're looking for just an image to represent spirit, often it's just a circle. So like air is the vertical triangle with a line in it. Water is an upside down triangle or inverted triangle. Fire is just a triangle. Earth is the inverted triangle with a line in it. Spirit is a circle. It's all encompassing. It's everywhere and everything. Let's see.
I always thought the fifth element was Mila Jovovich.
You totally missed that reference earlier.
Oh, did I?
Mm-hmm. You were getting ice cream.
Oh, dang it. That's actually the fifth element right there. Ice cream.
Right. Let's see. Yeah. Spirit's a big deal. And it's part of everything. Often it's because it is intangible, it is everywhere, in between everything else, and it's harder to keep track of and such. So if you think you're interacting with the spiritual, make sure you're putting some journal entries down. That way you understand what's going on. Let's see. I will also, in the show notes, try to link everything up, just to, that way, if you're on YouTube, you can catch the other videos too. So tomorrow night, we are going to talk about the planetary alignments coming up, and that energy transformation that I'm guessing that most of my listeners are going to catch a little bit of. I have a feeling that those that aren't aware of the energies that are changing are going to have a harder time of it, because they're going to be like, hey, what's going on? Why is it, what's, they'll just be trying to catch up because they've been oblivious. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. And I think it'll be good. So Yule is next week, the 21st, along with the winter solstice. They're generally celebrated on the same day. Somebody asked me, it's like, do you celebrate early in the morning on the 21st, or do you celebrate late in the evening on the 21st, which is correct? Excuse me. It's like, it's the 21st. It's Yule. It's the solstice. If you want to be absolute in your planetary alignment, look it up and celebrate right at that particular time. Remember, I'm an intuitive. I kind of go with the flow. If you're looking for an exact time, if you ask Don, he'll agree with me here. I'm not the one to give you the exact time. I say about, or sort of, or close enough, or roughly. And it drives the people around me kind of nuts.
Ish.
Yeah, ish. Approximate-ish. So, yeah. I hope you guys have really fun Yule celebrations or Christmas celebrations. Speaking of, now that I'm thinking of it, because Christmas is the 25th, right?
Correct.
I will not have a live show on the 25th. Yule is solstice, Lewis. Christmas is a couple days later. I will probably have a show on the 1st of January. I think. I will know for sure.
I'll probably be in bed well before that.
On the 1st? It's a Friday.
Well, that, yeah.
So, not New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to be on the show for New Year's Day?
No, I'm probably going to sleep my day away.
Okay. Knock yourself out, man.
That's my idea.
Okay.
That's what it takes.
Okay. That means for my birthday, I want to sleep all day.
Do what you will.
Yeah, that never happens.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
So.
You only turn 50 once. Might as well not remember it.
So, unless of course we do experience Groundhog Day.
That would suck.
Yeah.
That would just suck. Oh.
I don't.
What'd you do?
Not a blasted thing.
Ugh.
I'm just sitting here. Nothing's tipped, nothing's moved, nothing's different. I just laughed because Groundhog's Day for your birthday would be horrible.
Yes, it would.
How many
It's the
times?
most boring day on the face of the earth.
January 1st?
Yes.
Yeah. So Justin says rising of the sun is when you should celebrate the solstice.
Sure, whatever.
The rising of the sun, setting of the sun, high noon, midnight. You know, the only thing I'm really glad about with the whole planetary alignments and the solstice is this not also a full moon. It's 2020.
What else could go wrong?
Don't ever say that. That is, yeah, you don't say that. You get
what
mad.
What else could go wrong?
You get mad at me for saying anything about the cops in the area looking for giving out tickets. Yeah. Blah.
I don't need your negativity.
Exactly. What else could go wrong? Mm-hmm. So, right now, a lot of people have mistletoe out and about. It's a thing.
Perverts.
Well, so just so you know, mistletoe is toxic to your critters. So, if you have real mistletoe, make sure it's either all glued together so it won't fall apart and get eaten, or it's So, kissing under the mistletoe is a tradition from Saturnalia, which is a Roman festival. I think I mentioned this the other day or last weekend. Even in Victorian times, when public kissing was prohibited, if you were under the mistletoe, it was still okay, which is bizarre to me. So a kiss shared under mistletoe is said to ensure lasting love. It's also hung in the home during the holidays for peace and protection. But customs in France say it should be given as part of a New Year's celebration. So it shouldn't be out for Christmas. It should be out for New Year's.
Oh, well, that would kind of, yeah.
Marie, January 1st is Dawn's birthday.
What?
Yeah.
It is?
Yep. Folklore says that mistletoe will only grow where lightning has struck. The root word missile is supposedly derived from a Germanic word for dung. However, it was also sacred to druids who were known to pick it only after having a psychic vision.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a list of things. You know, it's amazing how many of these legend and lore things are out there.
And baffling.
Yeah. It's like kind of like the first person who ate a tomato. I bet you it was a dare. It had to have been a dare. So, yeah. So, let's see. Frankincense and myrrh are two incenses that are talked about around this time of year a lot because they were in the Christian story.
The Christmas story.
The Christmas story. They were gifts for Christ. It's because frankincense and myrrh were really, really, really expensive.
They still are.
Well, yeah. But they're rosins that come from the same plant, the Burseraceae. And they've been used as sacred perfumes for over 3,700 years. Supposedly, when a sacred phoenix transforms, it builds a nest of these rosins to set alight. It's not just myth and history that values these two. There are other ways you can use them in your spells and ritual work. So frankincense, just so you know, is a booster for pretty much any other essential oil. So if you're using frankincense essential oils, it'll enhance the oils that you have. Frankincense was used for so many spiritual ceremonies that it became known as the odor of sanctity and is still commonplace in many Catholic churches. Myrrh is not an herb. It's a rosin that it comes from a tree in North Africa. Magically, frankincense has many uses. It's said to bring peace, release stress, and connect with the divine. And myrrh has been used as both a medicinal and ceremonial purposes for about 5,000 years. Sorry, trying to move the keyboard before the cat steps on it. 3 minutes, drama. 3 minutes. Frankincense, some believe it helps connect the lower chakras with the solar plexus and then move the energy up to the higher realms. And myrrh helps balance out the root chakra. It aids in astral travel and meditation by helping with focus. Traditionally, frankincense was said to be most effective when burned in the morning. And even the Queen of Sheba is said to have used myrrh and its magically enticing properties to her advantage. Because, she wanted stuff. She wanted the stuff without doing the work.
Solomon's wife.
Yeah. So, anyways, frankincense and myrrh, it's just like any other thing that you might burn as an offering to honor your spirits or your ancestors or your deities or whatever. Burn a little. Make sure you can stand the smell yourself. Just like I personally cannot stand some smells. So I don't. I won't burn them as an offering to honor the ancestors or deities that I work with, because I wouldn't want them burned for me, so why would I burn them for someone else? So here, have a dirty sock. Or here, I'm going to light this dirty hippie on fire for you. It's not really... right? It's not... So, just before you put something up for an offering, make sure it's something that you can stand yourself, because it's going to be on your altar, it's going to be in your space, and yeah, just pay attention. Use some logic here. Yeah. Don's laughing about the dirty hippies.
Oh
gosh. So let's see. So next Saturday after Christmas, I'm going to talk about sigil work. Sigil is good, and sigil is needed. And tomorrow night again, we're going to talk about planets and planetary alignments and the change in energy. And let's see. What else? Remember to journal everything, guys. Without journaling, it'll be hard for you to keep track of what's going on in your world. So journal it. Know what's going on. So that's all for tonight. Tomorrow night, Kathy will be on and, talk about that planetary alignment. So that's it for tonight, guys. Have merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Stay tuned for Duke.
Lord within the sun, as we will, so mote it be, the spell forever done.